Hey everyone, Mac Howie with Equilibrium Insurance Partners in Perrysburg, Ohio. Bringing you guys a new video, actually the first of hopefully many. This is an AI guide for small agencies or really even larger agencies too, just how to automate some processes. And of course, we've been using Claude the last couple months. I have a dozen or so different tools that I've been using. This is one of them. This is probably my favorite one. It's the confirmation letter generator, and it's really slick. It takes about a 30-minute confirmation letter, which was a manual process at our agency, and it's condensed that to about 5 minutes. And the reason why this was a manual process at our agency is because our AMS system, our agency management system, just really didn't have a good tool where it could pull each coverage for every single policy and every single coverage within that policy. So a lot of it was manual, like looking at the policy, then typing, in the coverage and the coverage limit. So this has honestly changed my life, and especially changed Paul's life, who's my top CSR, and he's also an account executive. Um, so yeah, let's just jump in. Yeah, this will be about a 5 to 10 minute video, and I'll try to explain some things on how the AI works, and then of course, at the end, if you're interested in learning more, how can you build this? I'd love to show you. So yeah, the first thing is we're gonna need a letter date. This is of course at the top of a letter. I'm gonna put tomorrow, which is June 26th. And it's going to ask you at the end of the letter, who do you want to use as the signer? I'm going to sign myself. And then if you have multiple locations, it'll also ask you, well, which state or region you want to use. This one's going to be in Ohio and Michigan. Next, it'll ask you the class of business. So these are the frequent classes that I typically write. This one was a contractor account, and it's going to ask for a subtype, and this was an excavation account. And this is actually a real account that I just wrote back on uh, June 17th. But for all illustration purposes, I've changed the name. We'll use Max Excavating LLC, and we're gonna actually enter that now. I'm gonna press next, and it's gonna ask me some client information. So first name insured. Again, this is not the actual name insured. It's just my fictitious company, Max Excavating LLC. If I had a trade name, DBA name, doing business as, I would put it there. And then the contact name, let's just go ahead and use my wife's name, Amanda Howie, as the contact. She handles all of my insurance placements. I'm out excavating all day. Next, we're gonna do a mailing address. I'm just gonna put my agency's address. Again, just trying to shield as much as I can from this actual client. And the main address that I have is in Perrysburg, Ohio. So now that that's all entered, we're going to go to step 3, and we're actually going to enter in some policies. So I'm going to press next, and it's going to ask what the effective date was. And again, this was 6/17/2026. Just put this in place last week. And then, of course, the expiration date is 12 months, so 6/17 of 2027. It's going to ask me for the lines of coverage that were placed. So this was a property policy, a general liability policy, inland marine, auto liability, no workers' comp because Ohio's monopolistic. And then we had a umbrella policy. Now I'm going to truly specify excess/umbrella because there's very true, umbrellas in this day and age. And then next, it's going to ask me, okay, can you actually tell me what the policies were? So like property, general liability, and inland marine typically is under a package policy. Some carriers, of course, would even include the auto, and even some the excess in that, like West Bend. But this was actually placed with Pekin. So there's a drop down on this, and it's gonna, be able to list all your carriers, and which one you placed the policy with. And there could be multiple policies with multiple different carriers, so you really want to specify that. And then just for a fake policy number, I'm gonna put this. And the premium on this actually was 10,474. Okay, so now it has the total at the bottom, which is beautiful. So then the next policy was auto liability. It was also placed with Pekin. Again, a fake policy number there. And the true premium on this was 35,993. So it's actually a pretty nice account here. And then lastly, we're going to put excess umbrella liability. Let's put. Okay, so last one with Pekin here. And then we're going to put another fake policy number. And this actual premium was 2966. So the whole account was just shy of 50 grand, 49,433. And the cool thing about this is the next step, which is number 4, payment. It's going to actually show you, the payment schedule throughout the entire year, which is really nice. So it'll first ask you what your payment plan is. This one is going to pay monthly. Now, after you put the billing carrier, which of course is going to be Pekin, it's going to ask you if you need to catch up any months. So some carriers, if you don't collect a down payment, which I truthfully don't do a great job of doing, they'll double bill the first month, right? So in Pekin's case here, I'm looking at their installment schedule. They're double billing that first month of premium. So I'm going to have to put 1 month. So they double bill both the June 17th as well as the July 17th installments when it's actually due on 7/17. And then, of course, the first payment date is going to be 7/17/2026. It's going to ask me if they're ACH or EFT billing. And if you do click yes, it'll take their installment fee down. They actually haven't set this up yet, and I'm going to try to make this as real life as possible. So I'm going to uncheck that. Now, of course, every carrier has a different installment fee. So like if I went to West Bend for a second, this goes from $5 to $7. So the AI is actually very smart here. And then you're just going to calculate your schedule. So this is the schedule with Pekin. I'm quickly looking to see if this is right. Pekin is a little bit weird where not every day actually aligns on the 17th. Like this one says it's to 10/19 and then a 1/19. So you can see I can customize this towards the actual installment schedule, and I'm not, kind of just guessing here. And the other thing that's odd with Pekin is sometimes their numbers are just a little bit off. I'm changing this from 82.38 and 83 cents to 87 cents. These for some reason are going to 44 cents. So I'm going to change those. And then after this one goes down to 41 cents. And I don't know. The billing system has a mind of its own over in Pekin, Illinois, but I'm just trying to mimic what they have. So as we can see, it still equals the same amount, 49433, which is up here. I have the $5 installment fee. So these are the actual totals that will be paid by the client. Now what's cool is like sometimes we're not Johnny on the spot and we, are late on making these confirmation letters. So let's say we're a month behind and they've already paid the first one. I can press this paid button and it'll give me a check mark when the actual confirmation letter is generated. So I'm going to keep that there just so you can see what I mean. And you're not going to be able to see, but at the very bottom of this, I'm going to press next and it's going to take me to number 5, which is the proposal. And this is how the confirmation generator is actually being made. So what I'm going to do here is 2 things. First, I'm going to upload the actual Word doc proposal, and it's going to extract all the text. Now, I'm going to be mindful of scrolling down because it actually has the client's name. But yeah, it'll extract, and this proposal is over 30 pages, all of that down in the text. And then second, I'm going to attach the PDF after. And the reason why I'm going to attach the PDF is because my client has signed off on some coverages. At the end of any good proposal is going to be coverage considerations or recommendations. And, I've had the client sign off on these. So God forbid if there's a claim, I can go back and say, well, wait a second. I offered you 100,000 of professional liability, and here's where you signed off on it saying you didn't want the coverage on June 17th, 2026. So that's also part of this. You can't see at the bottom, but it does say generate letter. So I'm just going to press that now, and it's going to take a second. The AI is going to build the letter, and then it's going to generate the letter in a Word doc. So just bear with me while this happens. Okay, here we go. So this generated perfectly. So the first thing is it used my Perrysburg, Ohio letterhead, which is awesome. That's what I wanted it to do. June 26, 2026, Max Excavating LLC, care of Amanda Howie, which is my wife. We have our Perrysburg address. Dear Amanda, we're writing to confirm the details of your insurance policies with Pekin Insurance Group. Here's your policies. Here's your policy numbers, your total premium. Here's your lines of coverage. Here's your installment schedule. You're on a monthly installment schedule. Oh, by the way, your first payment was paid. We recognize that, which is beautiful. Here's your due dates for everything. You do have a $5 installment fee, Amanda. Please note, changes to your policy is going to modify the schedule, obviously. But here's where it gets really good. The AI will separate each type of policy, or really each line of coverage. So here's your commercial property policy. We have $459K and building costs, building coverage, replacement cost. Everything's agreed value. Co-insurance is suspended. You have a $2,500 deductible. Agreed value, of course, never write a policy without agreed value. You do have an inflation guard. Pekin has this thing, it's called a property extension. It's giving you all these other bells and whistles. The GL, I'm going to put down to the next page, but you have $1 million, $2 million, including products completed operations. You do have a $500 property damage deductible, Amanda. We do have stopgap employer's liability because the state of Ohio is monopolistic. Here's your GL rating. All these are going to be audible at the end of the year. Included in Pekin's GL enhancement is also primary non-contributory waiver of subrogation. Moving on to the auto liability, we have $1 million. Symbol 1, the best symbol you can buy. Uninsured, underinsured motorists. We have comp and collision. The AI has done a really good job because Pekin requires $5K deductible on all the tractors. So it's done a nice job separating that out. Motor truck cargo for the 4MAC tractors only, $100K each. It's done a beautiful job. Amanda, we don't have any business income. Pekin will not give it to you. I just want to let you know. Number of vehicles insured. Pekin's enhancement is giving you automatic additional insured, waiver of transfer, rights of recovery, aka waiver of subrogation, hired auto physical damage. Here's our inland marine, a $223,000 schedule. Here's some of the scheduled items. In fact, all 8 scheduled items you have. I've omitted the serial numbers. I just think that's too convoluted. You have some unscheduled equipment, max $5K per item, and then you have $1 million umbrella. Okay, and here's your underlying coverages. Oh, and by the way, dear Amanda, here's the coverages that have been declined. Here's your cyber, your EPLI, your employee dishonesty, forgery, alteration, funds transfer fraud, and professional liability. I'm going to put down on the next page just because it was kind of cut off there. So that's it. This has been done perfectly. All I get to do now is I get to print this off, sign my name, put it in the mail, and that's the confirmation letter, folks. If you want to learn how to do this, I'd be more than happy to show you. Just feel free to hit me up on my DMs. And truthfully, guys, this is game changing, especially for a smaller agency, one that's still getting off the ground. The productivity is going to increase immensely after you build this. It'll take you some time, but it'll pay great dividends when you get this done. Hey, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your week. Thanks. Bye-bye.